It's time now for the Period Show New News Report for this Monday, October 13th, 2014. Good afternoon, everybody. Peter Wing is here now. Your new news headlines here. On top story at 12 noon here is a man dressed in protective hazmat clothing treats the sidewalk in front of the apartment where a second person diagnosed with Ebola virus resides on October 12, 2014 in Dallas, Texas. Says Dallas won't kill dog of Ebola infected hospital worker. Oscar Pistorius' therapist told a Citizen here on Monday that the star sprinter suffered genuine remorse after he should have dead his girlfriend as lawyers fought to keep him out of jail. The Yakimar, Turkey, windows shattered by lunar protesters in the largest city in Turkey's mainly Kurdish southeast shows plenty of signs of violence and disrupted last week, but optimism over a fragile peace process with Kurdish guerrillas is far. Jean Tirelli, winner of the 2014 Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences, said banks that benefit from government support should face tough regulation. Now New York Jets lose Victor Cruz and embarrassing loss to the Eagles. Apple can't seem to get enough attention lately after the announcement of the iPhone 6 Plus, Apple Pay, and Apple Watch at the media briefing in September. The company is planning to hold yet another briefing on October 6th in which it will likely show up. A patient who was trouble in the library led a Braintree medical facility to close briefly on Sunday after the patient arrived complaining of symptoms associated with the Ebola virus, the medical center authority said. Keith Mafanzoshes, an inspector of building materials at UN Relief and Works Agency, visits one of the 7 mixing concrete factories that are responsible for preparing the concrete for UN. Not just any sperm would do, they decided to sperm using it artificially inseminate Kremlin with any first child would have to come from a man with genetic traits similar to theirs. 2 men commented some of the Colorado's most famous methods. Both fell after going off an inflammatory trail and set kill one and leading the rescue of 2 days later. As Seattle's mayor signed to measure adopting Indigenous Peoples Day in Duluth Monday, some town Americans today say that Duluth denigrates their culture's accomplishments. Stocks were struggling Monday as investors looked to put last week's extreme volatility beyond them. As we're going to take a look at stocks in a couple of minutes. Here, JCPenney Company Incorporated ended a year-long search for chief executive naming retail industry veteran Marvin Ellison to place interim CEO Byron Ullman in August 2015. The iShares FTSE China Exchange traded fund got ahead from the Chinese economic data on Monday in a week that promised to be a full of ups and downs. In Detroit, shares of Fiat Chrysler Automobiles rose early on Monday after the debut on the New York Stock Exchange as the newly merged company seeks to raise its profile. GT Advanced Technologies was to supply. Apple was stretched resistant Sapphire Glass, but announced October 6th for the file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They face melting fast new 802.11 AC routers might not be the king of the wireless networking world for long. On Sunday, Samsung announced that it's developing a new 802.11 AD Wi-Fi technology that can turbocharge network speeds fivefold from today's 866 Mbps. The mass haul of the Snapchat images obtained by hackers that a breach discovered last week should serve as a massive wake-up call to consumers once an expert noted that the user may have been under the false sense of security. Guaranteed Apple employees, the perpetrator traded docs detail how to set up Apple Pay for purchase items on the go via iPhone. Penelope Cruz, the 11 women to be given a title by the magazine. Previous honorees include Angelina Jolie, Halle Berry, Rihanna, Charlize Theron, and Scarlett Johansson. Gone Girl topped the box office on the second week, and 4 new films couldn't catch her. According to the studio estimates on Sunday, the Fox film is set up to top the box office for the second week with a $26.8 million in ticket sales. There's a lot of water on the moon, and NASA wants to learn how to mine it. Space Agency scientists are developing 2 separate mission concepts to assess and learn how to exploit stores of water, ice on the moon, and other lunar resources. Marine scientists at the University of British Columbia recently conducted a study to learn more about the effect of the climate change on ocean fish. Ebola screening will begin at London Heathrow Airport on Tuesday, as Health Secretary Jeremy Hunt says passengers from at-risk countries will have their temperature taken, complete a risk questionnaire, and have contacted health recorded. The first human clinical trials on Canadian development Ebola vaccine, VSV-EBOV, began in Maryland today to assess whether the vaccine is safe to use and determine the appropriate doses needed to fight the virus that has killed more than 4,000 people. Monrovia, many library and healthcare workers on the front line of the battle against Ebola ignored calls Monday to strike over poor pay and working conditions at most hospitals and clinics where operating normally officials and charity workers said. One of the most dangerous places for a sleeping baby is a sofa, according to a new study, as sleeping on a sofa can be deadly for babies. One person was killed in a crash on Route 128 south in Woburn early Monday morning, according to state police. Former Boston mayor Thomas Menino has released a new book called Mayor for a New America. Menino discusses the community that became Boston over the 20 years that he was mayor of the city. A patient being evaluated in a Boston hospital with no-access likely does not have the deadly virus, and a Pennsylvania man was found dead in Westbury duplex fire and finally was stabbed several times, Boston police said. Take a look at stock market reports here at 12:05. U.S. Dow Jones 6523.36 down 20.74. SP 599.14 down 5.99. And Nasdaq 4270.29 down 5.95. DAX A 12.43 up 23.62. FTSE 6366.24 up 26.27. CAC 40.78.70 up 4.99. Asian markets here. Nikkei 5300.55 down 178.38. Shanghai 2366.10 down 8.44. And HSI 23143.38 up 54.84. Oil markets 84.76 down 106. Brent 8.36 down 185. And natural gas 3.872 up 1,300 points. And the gold markets hit 12.90 up 8.20. Silver 17.385 up 8,000 points. Copper 3.038 up 3,000 points. And bonds, US 10-year yield 2.285% unchanged. Germany 10-year yield 0.894% unchanged. And Japanese 10-year yield 0.503% up 1,000 points. FX European US dollar 1.2678 up 51,000 point. US dollar Japanese yen 107.37 down 20,000 point. And Great Britain pound US dollar 1.6062 down 13,000 point. Take a look at sports news here on this Columbus Day afternoon here. The Arizona Diamondbacks on Monday hired Chip Hale to be the next manager for the team, replacing Kirk Gibson. Hale, 49, spent his first 10 years as coach of the D-backs organization. And today, the Boston Bruins will be taking on the Columbus Day Matinee at the TD Garden, taking on the Colorado Avalanche. Ball game number 3 on the American League Championships 3 starts tonight in Kansas City with the Kansas City Royals taking on the Baltimore Orioles. And Monday Night Football in St. Louis as the St. Louis Rams take on the San Francisco Giants. Nope, San Francisco 49ers and the St. Louis Rams on Monday Night Football tonight on 8:30 p.m. Peter Cello News on 1207. Time now for a travel report here and Route 6 on the westbound side of the Cape City Islands here. It's traffic gets backed up here from Brewster down Harwich, and you hit the brakes again from on Route 6 from West Barnstable down from West East Sandwich, and then back brakes from 130 Sandwich down to Sagamore Bridge. That feeder road to Route 20 and the Morton Watery is a little slow here. And accident on Route 128 on the northbound side after you pass Route 20 and Waltham here. And otherwise, a smooth sailing commuter store on this Columbus Day afternoon here and up in Maine near 95 on the main trip back on the southbound side, a little slow from Kittery as you approach the New Hampshire border on the main trip back southbound, which is 95 south here. And up in Londonderry, New Hampshire, exit Interstate 93 southbound after Route 102. And this will be a Columbus Day parade up in Revere here. As an event on Broadway and Route 107 between River Beach Parkway, Route 60 and Route 60 Columbus Day Parade begins at 1 p.m. So expect delays in that area. Peter Cello News Times 12:09. Time now for a little weather report here on this Monday afternoon. Here are current conditions at noontime here in North Massachusetts. It's 62 degrees, overcast skies, humidity of 58%, wind speed stop about 7 miles per hour, barometer 3.35 inches, 2.47 degrees, and visibility of 10 miles. Okay, let's take a look at current conditions here in the region here. 55 degrees in Boston, 57 in Bedford and Gloucester, 58 in Haverhill, 55 in Fitchburg, 52 in Worcester, 51 in Milford, 46 in Sturbridge, 49 in Webster. It's 54 in Norwood, 69 in Taunton, 61 in New Bedford, 59 in Plymouth, 61 in Falmouth, 68 in Chatham, 63 in Palmerston, 58 in Cape Cod Bay, 60 in Martha's Vineyard, 59 out of Nantucket, 63 in Long Island, 60 in Westerly, 54 in Smithfield, 64 in New York City, 62 in Islip, 64 in Montauk, 61 in Long Island, 60 in Bridgeport and New Haven. A pair of 55s in Denver and Waterbury, 57 in Meriden, 51 in Hartford, and 50 up in Windsor. It's 46 out of Springfield, 44 in Amherst, 43 in Greenfield and Gardner, Massachusetts, 44 in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, 48 in North Adams, 50 in Albany, New York, 51 in Bennington, Vermont, 41 in Jeffrey, 41 in Brattleboro, Vermont, and in Keene, New Hampshire, 48 in Jeffrey, New Hampshire, 54 in Nashua and Manchester, New Hampshire, 50 in Concord, New Hampshire, 58 up in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and 60 up in Portland, Maine. Here, Courier Nation's Rand region here, and around the nation, it shows station front from southeastern California, stretching to southern Arizona, and a cold front from northern Mexico, stretching to east central Texas. Cloud wind pink front down from Oklahoma, and warm front from eastern Oklahoma down from Arkansas to western Tennessee, and a cold front from western Oklahoma, stretching down from eastern Kansas. Down from Iowa, and a station front through Minnesota, down from western Ontario. Where we got low pressure in Minnesota, Kentucky, and in Oklahoma, and western Gulf of California, with a firm down from Gulf of California air. And cold and warm front collided over the British Columbia air, and we got high ridge of high pressure in the Intermountain region and Central Rockies here. 62 degrees on temperature right out of Pittsburgh, 63 in Washington, D.C., 69 in Atlanta, 84 in Miami, 83 in Brownsville, Texas, 62 in Dallas, Texas, 56 in Kansas City, 59 in Chicago, 64 in Detroit, 52 in Minneapolis, 53 in Omaha, Nebraska, 43 in Great Falls, Montana, 52 in Seattle, 64 in San Francisco, 65 out of Los Angeles, 62 in Las Vegas, 41 in Salt Lake City and Albuquerque, New Mexico, 74 in Phoenix, and 40 in Denver, Colorado. Here, take a look at our forecast discussion around the country here. Take a look at our forecast radar scope here at the noon hour here. And it shows some spotty rain showers around western New York from Syracuse down to Buffalo and up in Ontario, and a lot of rain showers from southwestern Ontario up to the northeastern Minnesota here. And spotty rain showers around southern Michigan, western Ohio, eastern Kentucky, and western Pennsylvania, down for northern West Virginia, down for eastern Maryland, and down for Delaware. And this is a lot of spotty showers and storms from western Florida Panhandle down off the Florida Gulf Coast of southern Florida here. And this is real action of rain, showers, and storms from eastern Texas, stretching up into the Mississippi Valley, then after central plain states from Nebraska, and after eastern Kansas, down for Oklahoma here, and a lot of rain showers from central British Columbia, down for southwestern British Columbia, also the western Washington coastline here. And we're seeing and we're going to zoom in to a cell which could become tornadic here. And this is going to be a cell that's come to that is northeast and that's churches in Louisiana, and it's going to be in Winfield, Louisiana, Jonesboro, and County coming out. So in that area, take cover and stay safe because this is a ferocious storm that's going to be humid weather coming up, and we're going to have some severe weather in that part of the country today and tomorrow. Here. Okay, let's take a look at our satellite photo here. And it shows Patrick cloud is covered for the eastern portion of the nation, stretching the day in for the Great Lakes, and then after Mississippi Valley, down for the Plain States. And a line of clouds from Colorado, stretching to Wyoming, down for Montana, down to Idaho, down for Oregon and Washington State, and British Columbia, down for Northern Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Okay, let's take a look. What is brewing in the tropics here at the noon hour here? As in the Atlantic tropics, we're going to have a pair of tropical systems here. Tropical storm Faye is now a tropical storm with 34.1 to the north, 52.2 to the west. Maximum sustained winds about 60 miles per movement, east about 29 miles an hour here. As our public advisory here, may begin to lose tropical characteristics. No coastal watch is a warner's effect at 11 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time, 50 UTC. The center of tropical storm Faye was located near latitude 34.1 to the north, longitude 52.2 to the west. And Faye is moving toward the east near 29 miles per hour and 46 kilometers an hour in the eastward to east-southeastward motion at a slightly slower forward speed is expected during the next couple of days. And maximum sustained winds have decreased to near 60 miles per hour, 95 kilometers an hour with hour gusts, and Faye is expected to become a post-tropical cyclone later today. The post-tropical system is expected to slowly weaken during the next few days. And tropical force winds extend up to 205 miles per hour, 335 kilometers from the center. And its minimum center pressure is 99 millibars and 29.24 inches here. And while Faye seems to loosen it straight, Gonzalo is a tropical storm with 65 mile per hour winds. Central location 17.2 to the north, 61.9 to the west, and moving west northwest about 10 miles an hour here. Here's the latest advisory and public advisory at Gonzalo here. It's Gonzalo Straitman while it moves front the northern Leeward Islands here, and tropical force winds continue on Antigua. And change with advisory. The government of Antigua and Barbuda have issued a hurricane warning for the British Virgin Islands and a hurricane watch for Anguilla. The governor of France has issued a hurricane watch for St. Martin and discontinued the tropical storm warning for Guadalupe, Desirade, La Sainte, and Maria Galante. The governor of St. Martin has issued a hurricane watch for St. Martin, Desirade, and watches warning effect and hurricane warning effect for British Virgin Islands. Hurricane watch effect for St. Martin, Anguilla, Puerto Rico, Vieques, and Culebra, and U.S. Virgin Islands, and the tropical warning effect for St. Martin, St. Bartholomew, St. Martin, St. Eustatius, Barbuda, Antigua, Anguilla, St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat, Puerto Rico, Vieques, and Culebra, and U.S. Virgin Islands. A hurricane warning means that hurricane conditions are expected somewhere within the water, and in this case within 24 hours. Preparations to protect life and property should be rushed to completion. A hurricane watch means that hurricane conditions are possible to watch in this case the next 24 hours. And tropical warning means that tropical conditions are expected somewhere within the warning area. First storm information specific to your area in the United States, including possible watches and warnings. Please monitor the product station by a local national weather service forecast officer for storm information specific to your area outside the United States. Please monitor the product station by a local national meteorological service. At 11 a.m. Atlantic time, 50 UTC, the center of tropical storm Gonzalo was located near latitude 17.2 to the north. Longitude 61.9 to the west, and Gonzalo is moving toward the west-northwest near 10 miles per 17 kilometers an hour. This general motion is expected to continue today, followed by a turn toward the northwest and out in the forecast track. The center of Gonzalo will move into the northeastern Caribbean Sea this afternoon to be over the Virgin Islands tonight and early Tuesday. Reports from Air Force Reserve reconnaissance aircraft and service observations from Antigua indicate that maximum sustained winds have increased near 65 miles per 100 kilometers an hour with higher gusts. And it's just straight for this forecast during the next 40 hours. And Gonzalo is expected to become a hurricane tonight or Tuesday while it moves over the northeastern Caribbean Sea. Tropical force winds expected upwards to 70 miles per 110 kilometers from the center during the past couple of hours. And the trigger reported a sustained wind about 67 miles per 108 kilometers an hour. And gusts at 88 miles an hour, 142 kilometers an hour. The minimum center pressure recently measured by the aircraft was 992 millibars and 23 inches. With hurricane conditions expected in the British Virgin Islands tonight and early Tuesday. Hurricane conditions are possible within the hurricane watch area tonight and early Tuesday with the tropical storm conditions expected by this evening. The tropical storm conditions will continue to spread over the portions of the northern area and the Leeward Islands today. Rainfall. Gonzalo is expected to produce total rainfall accumulations of 4 to 8 inches across the Leeward Islands and British and U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico with estimated maximum total amounts of 12 inches possible. Surf swells carried by Gonzalo will affect the Leeward Islands from Dominican northward today. Swells will reach the U.S. and British Virgin Islands by this afternoon. Those swells are likely to cause flat-footed surf and whip current conditions. Please consult products from your local warehouse. It's here. And I took a look at the models and Gonzalo will pose no threat to the U.S. mainland. Here. Okay, take a look at Central Pacific tropical outlook here. Shots and dust of the station with a surface slow centered about 1,025 miles east, southeast of Hilo, Hawaii, have continued to become better organized tonight. Environmental conditions remain conducive for additional development of this turbulence as it moves toward the west-northwest about 10 miles by tropical stretch may form later today to tonight. Formation transfer has high aims elsewhere. No tropical cycle is expected about late Tuesday night. Here. And take a look at the latest on Longfong here. To scale, it's large. Surface should north 35.35, east 136.35, Directed speed of movement, northeast 50 kilometers an hour, and center pressure 95 HPA. Max sustained wind speed about 30 meters south. West wind gust speed 40 meters south. Area 50 knot winds about all 240 kilometers, and area 30 knot winds more. South face 750 kilometers and northwest 560 kilometers. Scale be large. Service position north 35.55. East 137.20. Okay, let's take a look at forecast discussion around the country here. There'll be a slight risk of severe thunderstorms over the parts of the lower Mississippi Valley, central Gulf Coast, and the Tennessee Valley, and western Ohio Valley. There'll be a better region of moderate risk of severe thunderstorms over the parts of the lower Mississippi Valley, and heavy rain possible from the parts of the upper Great Lakes, somewhere to the lower Mississippi Valley, and eastern Gulf Coast, and heavy rain possible from the parts of the Pacific Northwest Coast. A storm over the southern plains will move slowly to the western Ohio Valley by Tuesday evening. A strong moisture connection with the Gulf of Mexico will direct moisture that will pull along ahead of this. Associated front produces showers and thunderstorms with heavy rain over parts of the middle of the lower Mississippi Valley. The southern plains will move eastward to the lower Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, southward to the southeast by Tuesday. Night, the amount of rain will develop over parts of the central plains that will move northeastward to the middle Mississippi Valley and expand into the Great Lakes on Monday and Tuesday. Meanwhile, a front moving on over the Pacific Northwest will move into the inland to the northern Rockies, southwestward to the central California by Tuesday evening. The rain will develop over the Pacific Northwest coast and parts of the northern California that will be heavy at times throughout Tuesday. Take a look at the forecast discussion around the country here. High pressure moves offshore today that stalls over the western Atlantic into the middle of the week when conditions become warm and muggy. As a summertime condition will be a brief return here. Widespread rain with around heavy showers and thunderstorms affect region around late Thursday. Conditions improve briefly prior to another round of showers beyond which cool dry conditions filter across the region over the weekend. And today I'm update minute time level clouds have streamed into southern New England a bit quicker than previously forecast. Have update forecast for that using any of MOS guidance and moving it up to a few hours here. And high pressure is slowly setting up the east, allowing for winds to shift more than in south and southwest and into south. 2 points of grass gradually front today here. Take a look at weather notes for the Boston Almanac. Today, predicted time will be 62, the low about 45. The average will be 62 degrees, the low about 47 degrees. And Boston record 87 set on October 13th, 1930, which was on a Monday. And 30 degrees set on Tuesday, October 13th, 1875. Sunset, 6:05 p.m. here. Wind shifted to the south as the beginning of a warmer trend, and predicted today's high will be 58 to 65 degrees. Tonight's low, 47 to 56 degrees, and tomorrow's high, 68 to 75 degrees here. Okay, let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. It goes like this. For Columbus Day, clouds got high about 6 degrees, south wind about 6 to 8 miles per hour. For tonight, clouds got low about 52 degrees, south wind about 5 miles per hour, comedy evening. Tuesday, Patchwork for 10 a.m. was clouds got gradually becoming mostly sunny skies, but high about 69 degrees, and south wind about 3 to 8 miles per hour. Tonight, Park clouds got low about 61 degrees, and south wind about 6 miles per hour. Wednesday, a taste of summer, as Park clouds got about 77 degrees, and south wind about 5 to 7 miles because it's 24 miles per hour. So, time to break out the shorts for a little bit, as Wednesday night will be a chance of showers, mainly after 2 a.m. Most of the clouds got below about 62 degrees, and chance of precipitation 30%. Thursday showers likely be after 8 a.m. Most of the clouds got high about 69 degrees, and chance of precipitation 70%. Thursday night, showers likely clouds got low about 56 degrees, and chance of precipitation 70%. Friday, chance of showers, most of the suns got high about 67 degrees, chance of precipitation 30%. Friday night, Park clouds got low about 53 degrees. Saturday, most of the suns got high about 67 degrees. Saturday night, chance of showers, most of the clouds got low about 46 degrees, chance of precipitation 30%. Sunday, most of the suns got high about 61 degrees. Here's what a phrase of the day. A cloudy day on tap. That's me, the Peter Channel New News Report on this Monday, October 13th, Columbus Day 2014. Peter J. wishing you have a good day. And I'll see you for the 5 o'clock evening report on the Peter Channel News. Have a good day. Happy Columbus Day.